Hey everyone, so I just completed the Transcendent title. And now you might be looking at this and saying, oh, it's actually not unlocked. That's because there's currently a bugged shader from the collection badge. This comes from your first reset with the Ghost Vendor. It's supposed to be the Reaching Within shader, but it's actually giving you a Lightfall shader currently. So as soon as that's fixed, I'll have this title. And I just wanted to go through and give a couple of tips on how to get this title as efficiently as possible, because it is definitely one of the grindiest titles we've had in a long time. Now to start off, there's a lot of just collection aspects for this title. You have to get the Kvasov. I'll have videos for those down below. You have to do dual destiny. I'll have that down below. You have to find all 55 feathers. I have a video on the 6 in dual destiny, but the other 49, there's 8 in every major location. So there's going to be 8 feathers in the landing, in the blooming, and in the impasse. And then there's a bunch of locations that have 5. So like transgression, seclusion, the lost city, and I think the one, like the Dreaming City area, I think that has 5 as well. I don't know what that math adds up to, but I think that's all the locations. The Refraction has 5 as well. I don't think, oh, the Divide has 5. So you can look up videos for those. There are triumphs that pop once you complete all of them. So if I go over to my secrets, once I found all 8 in the impasse, I got that triumph. But at least when I completed these, you couldn't see them beforehand. So I would just do a location at a time until you find all of them, and then move on from there. And there are videos for that. And like I said, I have a dual destiny one down below. But all of the collection ones, I don't really have a lot of tips for. Collect all the prismatic aspects. That's my tip is go look up a video. All the blessings, that you just get those from chests. So you'll get that. Paracasual Geometries, you unlock one of these on your map every time you complete a rotation of the Alone in the Dark Micah quest. So you find a ghost in the Lost Sector, you do some overthrow, you complete a Cyst, you turn in the ghost. When you do that, a circle will appear on your map talking about the ghosts locating an artifact. So it'll look like this. It's not this one. You can see this is a memory one. That's different. But it'll say ghosts have located an artifact. Then you can go there. You have to find a box with a red triangle and a blue circle. You have to find an area where you can see them both. You have to shoot the box with the red triangle with the darkness weapon, the blue circle with the light weapon, and then that's completing a pair. You have to do that 11 times. And because only one spawns every rotation of an Alone in the Dark, that means you have to complete the entire Alone in the Dark quest and then do it again. So you have to go through that quite a few times. What I would recommend is doing all of those collection based ones first before you ever touch these two, the Pathfinder and the Inseparable ones, because everything down here is going to give you experience to help you reset your Ghost Vendor rank. Complete each Cyst in 4 minutes. I did all of these solo with the exception of Moth Infested Cavern. I recommend getting 2 or 3 people for that. Put on Risk Runner, because moths and pretty much everything in those deal arc damage and gives you a huge arc resist. That's how we got it done. Make sure you dedicate one person to always sitting on the plates, and then your other person or other 2 people to just killing moths whenever they spawn. But every other one there was really easy and can be completed solo. Excision Grandmaster difficulty. The difficulty here scales with the amount of people on your fire team, or it appears to at least. So I would recommend if you have 5 or 6 really close friends, so you can go in as a group of 6 to 8 or 9, it is better to do that than to just fill with random people. Because if you're adding people that maybe aren't as experienced at the game or don't have good enough loot or aren't leveled or whatever, they're just going to be dying. It's going to make combat more difficult. It's going to give enemies more health. They're just going to be wasting your reses, and they're not going to be helping in the combat scenario at all. So a smaller fire team of better players is better than a larger fire team just padded with some dead weight, is my opinion on that, and that is my recommendation for all of you. So everything else, collect. This is complete the campaign. The only other one before we get into the 2 hardest triumphs is going to be you get this from the pairs we talked about, the box pairs. Kvasov, all of my 3 videos on how to get Kvasov down below. All of the armor comes from the minor quests from Micah. So it's you'll find a dead ghost in this existing strike or campaign mission from Shadowkeep or whatever. That's how you get these. So just make sure you go and you check the quest rewards there. Now, the real reason that Transcendent is going to be hard is going to be the Inseparable Triumph for a lot of people. And it's not difficult, it's just very grindy. You have to do 3 resets of the Ghost Vendor, and the Ghost Vendor takes a lot to reset. I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure. I've checked a couple times throughout my resets. every rank of Ghost takes 1,500. So whereas like Shax or whatever, it's 10,000 to reset, I think, for all of your ranks. For Ghost, you go and it's 1,500 for 17 ranks, and then that's a single reset. It doesn't seem to increase as you go up the ranks, at least from what I have seen. And so you have to reset Ghost 3 times, and it takes a long time to do that. The other grindy one is going to be 25 Pathfinder completions on the Pale Heart. Get this one done first. Do all the collection stuff, then the Pathfinder, and then you'll have to grind out the rest of your Ghost rank. So your 25 Pathfinder resets, the way I was doing it is I would just go to Pathfinder, I would look at these final 2, and I'd be like, okay, this one needs you to do the blooming, so I would just look and see what I could do by doing primarily the blooming or whatever. I would avoid the impasse if at all possible. It's by far the longest of the 3. In my opinion, the blooming is the quickest, and then the landing is like slightly slower, but the landing is also a little bit more like easy to traverse, so you might prefer that one. But I would always prioritize those 2, and one of them should always be available here, and then you just kind of, bounce around here. I would just always do the ones like if I'm doing the blooming, I would look for anything with the blooming or the seclusion, because the seclusion is right next to the blooming, or like, hey, if it's like a random boss I have to go kill in the landing or whatever, I would go do that really quick as well. Just prioritize being as efficient as possible. When you do all 25 of these, you should be somewhere past your second reset with Ghost. So I think I was reset 2 and maybe like rank 6 or 7. So I still had like 10 or 11 ranks to do with Ghost, which is a lot. And so what I noticed is about every 2 overthrows is a rank reset. And so what I would do is I would just go into the matchmaking overthrow. Today it's in the landing. I would load in and I would run around and do public events. But if I had good teammates that were doing public events for me, I would just focus on collecting like the resource chests or the Stigma of the Witness like resource. Every one of those gives you 15. The triage chests, which are the like the orange vine ones that require you to like run through lights or like push a ball or throw grenades at the little warts on the wall. Those give you 60, I think. I wrote that down. No, they give you 40. So those add up quite quickly. The public events that you do give you anywhere between like 50 to 100 depending on like what round you are on, and there seems to be some variation in there as well. And then completing the entire overthrow gives you 250. So that can add up pretty quickly. Every rotation you're getting 700, 750, 800 reputation. About 2 overthrow rotations will give you an entire Ghost reset or like 1 rank, and you can get through them pretty quickly, 10-15 minutes, especially if you load in and you get good like randoms who are also grinding it as well. It's not so bad in the landing and the blooming. The impasse is definitely going to take a little bit longer. It's just a larger area. Some of the objectives take a little bit more time, and the bosses are a lot harder in my opinion too, because it's the dread bosses. One thing that is also worth noting is every single week, I believe your first 3 Pathfinders or your first Pathfinder, excuse me, maybe your first 2, but it's at least your first one will give you an entire rank. So 1,500 Ghost XP. And then I believe your first Excision of the week will also give you 1,500 Ghost XP as well when you complete it. And then also if you have to do any of the other pinnacles, like, hey, if you need this pinnacle challenge, this gives you Ghost Reputation Surge. I don't really know how much that is, but I imagine it's 500 or something. It's probably a lot since they're calling it out. And Lost Sectors also give you stuff. I wouldn't worry about that. They give you not a lot. And then keep completing Pathfinders even past your 25 to keep getting the reputation increase that you get from your Pathfinders as well. Just do them kind of along the way. But it's just going to be load in, collect everything, speed through overthrow over and over and over again. But that is going to be way faster than grinding Lost Sectors or Cysts or anything else. So I just wanted to give you all of those tips. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I love your faces, and I'll see you very soon. See you, everyone.